like this. And in my opinion, this particular scale is a really, really good scale for getting all your fingers working. Not only that, so it helps strengthen all your fingers together at the same time, but also it's basically the most fundamental scale there is in music, where you can understand music theory right from this scale. So we'll talk about that in detail a little bit more in the future, but the first thing to do is to get familiar with this scale so you understand what it is. So as you can see, it's called the C major scale. What did I write there? This is one of many positions to play this scale. So there, yeah, and that's true. So this is just one place on the guitar neck where you can play this scale. There's several places on there. We're going to start with this one, and then once you're comfortable with that, we'll expand it onto different ones. So if you can see, we've got, I'm just trying to point with my fingers, it's a little difficult. That's the low E string right here, that one. So we're not going to play anything on that string. So the first note that you see right here is a C note played on the 3rd fret. I think this might be easier if I do this. You can see right here. So here's fret 1. Oh, here we go. Here's fret 1, 2, and 3. So this note right here is the first note you're going to be playing. And that's a C note. It's on the A string, and I'll explain why that's a C note at a different time. Because what we'll need to do is also understand that in music there's natural notes, and then there's also sharps and flats. You can see it better on a piano, but we can understand it a little better by actually looking at the piano and then relating that to the lowest strings, the low E string and the A string, going all the way up the neck to the 12th fret and back. We'll do that on a later time, or I might just quickly show you after I go through this. So, okay, so finger 2, doesn't say that on there, but finger 2, and I'll show you how that's done, is going to play the first note, which is the C note, and then finger 5 is going to play, sorry, not finger 5, finger 4 is going to play the next note on the A string. Then we're going to move to the D string, and we're going to put finger 1 on the 2nd fret of the D string, finger 2 on the 3rd fret of the D string, finger 4 on the 5th fret of the D string. Hopefully that's making sense so far. Then we move to the G string, finger 1 on the 2nd fret of the G string, then finger 3 on the 4th fret of the G string, and then we finish with finger, well, I'm probably not doing a good job there, finger 4 on the 5th fret of the G string. So let me demonstrate that. So I'm going to put my hands across here so you can see that finger 1 is lined up on fret 2. Finger 2 is lined up on fret 3. Finger 3 lined up on fret 4. Finger 4 lined up on fret 5. So basically I'm assigning, for this particular scale, I'm assigning a finger to each of the frets. So as the diagram that I printed off there for you, or that I drew, states, this one is our first note, finger 2, but I didn't write that on there, so you're gonna have to just kind of try to remember that. Finger 2, because that's, so we're lining all our fingers up, and that's the first note. I did number them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you'll see that on the page. So there's the C note. Then we're gonna play with the pinky the 5th note, sorry, C, which is the 3rd fret of the A string, then the 5th fret with finger 4. I always mess that up. Now we're going to move to the D string. First finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, then 2nd finger on the 3rd fret, then 4th finger on the 5th fret. Now we're going to move to finger 1 on the G string, 2nd fret. Then we're playing 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the G string. We're finishing with the pinky, 4th finger on the 5th fret. So what that sounds like is this. And so you want to get used to this pattern. This is a very important pattern that we can reuse all over the guitar neck. Basically, what you're doing here is you're playing the C major scale because you're starting and ending on a C note. But once you get used to this pattern, you can move that pattern up. Like so, let me move it up to the 5th fret here. Exact same pattern, but we're playing now because we started on the D. We're now playing a D major scale. If I moved it here, that's an E note. So just take my word for it. If I play that same pattern, that's an E major scale. Okay, let's just stick to the C major scale for now. And then you want to go backwards. So I don't expect you to play this fast. I don't expect you to play it as that fast. You can go as slow as you need to go, as long as each note sounds nice and crystal clear. That's what you want to go for. The speed will come in time. Okay, that C major scale has all natural notes. So we can just think of the musical alphabet that goes up to G and then it goes back to A. So watch this. C, D, E, F, G, A, because A comes after G in the musical alphabet, B, C. All natural notes. So what I mean by natural notes is in music there are sharps and flats. So I will demonstrate here real quickly. If we play that low E string, we know that that's also an E note. And then right here, we have an F note. After that, we have an F sharp. And then we have a G. And so you might be thinking, well, why is that an F sharp and not a G? Why is it not E, F, G? Because in music, there's sharps and flats. So let's just quickly take a look at the piano here. It's hard to see, but I'm just holding my computer up. That's a C note. And so all of these white notes are all the natural notes in music. All the black keys are the sharps and the flats. So I'm going to find an E note. So take my word for it, that's an E, and I'll show you that later too. I'm not sure if you can see that, but the next note, not sure if you can see. Can you see? It's tough to see. Maybe I'll play right there. The next note after the E is a white note. So that's the F, E, F. The next note after that is a black key. That's an F sharp. The next note after that is a G. Then it's a black key, which is a G sharp. Then it's a white key, which is an A. Then a black key, which is an A sharp. Then a white key, which is a B. And then a C, there's no black key between the B and the C. There's also no black key between the E and the F. Then after the C, we have a C sharp on the black key. Then we have a D, D natural, D sharp, black key, and then back to the E. Okay, so that hopefully will help you make sense of this right here. So I'm going to play E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, because on the piano there's no sharp black key between a B and a C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Now we're back to the E. Coincidentally, the 12th fret, which has the 2 dots, has all the same Eddie, 8, dynamite, goodbye, Eddie. Okay, so that's quite a bit for right now.